So after breaking through a few glass ceilings in my career, Gail mentioned some of the companies I worked for, and I held senior executive and C-suite level roles at those companies. I'm now blessed to be in the position to help other women break through. So I want to help those of you who are in the mindset, I know you all are, I can tell from your energy that you are all in that mindset to break through. So who's ready to break through? Yes. Love it. Yes, love it. So that's what this is going to be about. So for the next 15 minutes or so, absolutely, we're going to work on that. So I have two questions to get us started. And I'll start with the quote. So Amazon founder Jeff Bezos once said that your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Your personal brand, so think about that. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not around. So by show of hands, how many of you know exactly what is being said about you behind your back? Put your hands way up high so everybody can see them. How many of you know exactly what people are saying about you when you're not around? This is typical. Most people don't know, and I ask, well, why not? Why don't we know? We should know. One of my clients before COVID was the Massachusetts Correctional System. So I would go into prisons and work with inmates, some of the most rewarding work I've ever done. And so when I would go into prisons and I would hold these monthly workshops with inmates at different prisons around the state. And I remember going into one of my workshops, one session, and this inmate said to me, Denise, is this what you mean by personal branding? And he pulled down his shirt, showed me all his tattoos. And I said, nope, that's body branding. That is not personal branding. So that's what it is. It's what people are going to say about you. It's everything though. It's collectively, what is it? How are you projecting yourself? How are you dressing? How are you wearing your hair, your jewelry, your makeup? How are you speaking? Are you speaking grammatically correctly? What are people saying? How are you engaging people? How are you projecting yourself? So my second question with that is, how many of you believe you have a personal brand? Way up high, personal brand. Kinda. So most of you say yes, which is great, but not all of you raised your hand. Is there anybody in here under the age of 15? No? Everybody here. So everyone here absolutely has a personal brand. Everyone. The difference might be, or the challenge might be, maybe you don't know what it is. Maybe you don't know how you're projecting yourself. Maybe you don't know how people are receiving you when you walk in a room. Maybe it's a brand you don't want or you don't like. Maybe it's a brand that's not going to help you break through that glass ceiling. Maybe it's a brand that's not going to help you reach your professional goals. Find out what that personal brand is. But you all have one. The key is to make sure it's a brand that's going to help you reach your professional goals. So with that, looks like I have a little bit of my work cut out for me for the next few minutes, but that's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to go through some pointers. So think pink. Think pink. P.I.N.K. So keep that in mind. Think pink. P. Plan your breakthrough, ladies. Plan it. Don't just wait for it to happen. Don't just assume it's going to happen. Plan it. Be intentional about it. We too often are not intentional about what it is that we want. Why is it that we're not intentional? Women, people of color, we especially do not make our intentions known. We don't ask for what we want. Men, especially white men, are great at it.
Yeah.
Great at it. They'll walk up in a second, let you know what they want, what their ambitions are. We don't. Why don't we? Anybody got a guess? Someone guess. Why don't you think that we, black women, are not clear, we're not intentional in letting people know what we want? Why we don't plan?
Because we don't have a plan.
We weren't trained that way because we don't have a plan.
We don't think we can get it.
Exactly, we don't think we can get it. Insecurities.
Too busy trying to make it through the day.
Too busy, absolutely. Too busy trying to make it through the day. What about we're afraid? We're afraid. We don't like rejection, and we try, and then someone blocks us. We're like, oh my God, that's gonna set us back. But sometimes we gotta get out of our own way. Sometimes we gotta push the noise out of our own heads. We were just talking. Sean and I was talking about that earlier today. Sometimes we get caught up in the negativity inside of our own heads. Sometimes it isn't somebody else putting that negativity in our heads. It's us putting it in our own heads. So that prevents our ability to plan our breakthrough. So, P. Limiting beliefs, absolutely. So plan your breakthrough. The P. I. Increase your visibility. Increase your visibility. And that can be tough for a lot of people. Gail mentioned I used to be a shy introvert. I'm still a shy introvert. I just learned how to manage it. Right? I just learned how to manage it. And that is what happens with a lot of us who face challenges. It's not like the challenges ever go away. They don't really ever go away. We just learn how to manage through them. We figure out a way how to manage it. We fake it, right? A lot of it is faking it. Yeah, a lot of it is faking it. So increase your visibility. I have a short story to tell you about that, because our visibility is directly connected to our ability to break through. Yeah? Our visibility is directly connected to our ability to break through. I spent 17 years at Reebok, worked my way up from entry level to the C-suite. But there was one period during my tenure that was really tough. Juggling a lot of balls, afraid one was gonna drop or multiple balls would drop. And I remember I was a director, dying to be promoted to VP, dying, worked my butt off to be promoted to VP. Thought I had done everything I needed to do, thought I had checked all the boxes. I was so excited when the bosses, all the heads of the departments were calling in their teams one by one and letting them know whether or not they were going to be promoted. It was when all the promotions were being announced. So it was my turn to walk into my boss's office and find out if I had gotten the promotion. I knew I had. There was no doubt in my mind. I walked in there all confident, sat down, waited for him to whip open a paper and tell me about my stock options and pay raise and new title. Nope, didn't get it. So when he kicked me in the stomach, that's what it felt like. I just went from here, crashing down. So I sucked up the courage to ask him, why? Why? I've been working my butt off. I had two, Gail mentioned my kids, they're adults now, but they were kids I was managing. We talked juggling all these balls, being a working mother, traveling all over the world. Why would I not get that promotion? He looked at me straight-faced. Denise, you're not visible enough. You're not visible enough.
Busy doing the work.
Right. I was not one to walk around, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. That wasn't my style. But guess what? I was told I needed to make that my style. I needed to get out of my own head and do what needed to get done to break through. So what do you think I did? It was very uncomfortable, but I knew that was what I needed to do. Right? That was part of the planning my breakthrough that I didn't do. And so I did. My next event was a big event in New York, Venus Williams. I was director of PR at the time. Did a big event with Venus to announce that she was going to be the highest paid black female athlete as far as endorsements. It was my event. Went to New York. All the media was hugely successful. Came back. Sent out reports to all the management team, let them know, hey, my group did everything. So then after that, all the events I did, I would send out emails and reports, all the media coverage. 6 months later, or maybe 3 or 6 months later, it's time for another round of promotions. What do you think happened? Got that promotion. Got that promotion. Direct connection which I didn't know before then, had no idea before then. Direct connection between visibility and the ability to break through. So resist the temptation to not, and it's not about bragging, it's about being confident and showcasing your work. Men are great at it. Men are great at it. We are not. Increase. I in pink. N. This is fun. This is the fun one. Name your brand. Give your brand a cool soundbite. So while you're out there breaking through, being visible, give your name, give your brand a name, a really cool soundbite. That'll get in your head. That'll energize you. So, going back to the Venus Williams event, when I came back, I was exhausted, and I was walking down the hall at Reebok, and one of the sports marketing guys yelled out to me, "Denise, do you know what your brand is?" And I looked at him, I said, "No, what?" And I'm gonna swear, so get ready. He said, "You get shit done."
That's right.
Loved it. I have leaned into that brand ever since. Denise gets shit done. That's my brand. How many of you would love that brand? You probably, some of you, I wouldn't doubt that most of you probably have that brand too. Maybe you can give that brand, give that soundbite to your brand. You can take it. Hello, you can use it. That's my brand. I love it. So anyone knows, I have a company, this is me here, my company. People know when they come to me, it's gonna get done. It's gonna get done. So think about, as you're out there doing your thing, you're increasing your visibility, what do you want to be known for? When you walk in that room, remember that example I gave you about Jeff Bezos? When you walk in that room, what do you want people to say about you when you walk out? I want people to say that about me. So think about that. Give your brand a name. Name your brand. N. P.I.N.K, K. Know your reputation. This is a tough one. Know your reputation. Remember I asked at the beginning, how many of you know what people are saying about you behind your back? Did anybody raise their hand? Nobody raised their hand. Why don't we know? Why don't we know what our reputation is? When you know what people think about you, it puts you in control. I remember going back to the work I do with inmates, and they took issue when I would say they needed to find out, well, you can imagine what curse words came out of their mouth. We don't need to know, we don't care what people say. I said, but you should care. You may choose not to do anything at all with that information. But that's okay, just keep it nice and tied up in a bow in a box on the shelf. But now you have more power than you think you have when someone is thinking one thing about you, but you don't know. They have control. They have more control over you. Because they're thinking, oh, I know this person thinks I like them, but I don't. We all got some of that. I know I do. Find out. Do a brand survey. I do that a lot with my clients. We do brand surveys. Send out a survey, a bunch of questions, get it back. Some of them are like, well, who said that? Who said that? I had one client, it was so funny. She goes, Denise, I want to know who said that. I'm like, I'm not telling you who said that. And it's not, but it goes, we went back and forth. But a brand survey. And there is a lot, there are some, nuances to that. But if you can know your reputation, because again, it puts you more in control when you know what people are thinking about you, then you can do something about it. If you find out that someone feels a certain way about you, and you didn't know, there's nothing you can do about it. And it might hinder your ability to break through. But when you know what challenges are out there, when you know what issues there are, you can work on them. You can get through them.